Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you followed me for any length of time, you know that I'm a big lover of the wet shave. I'm always going on about how you should use a really good shave technique and a really good rich shaving cream, etc. So the idea of gadgets that can actually do the job for you and take away some of that experience, I've always been very cynical of. And one of the things that's been available for a couple of years on the market is a product by Philips, the One Blade, which is an electronic razor where they say literally you only need the one blade. Now, I've eventually got around to picking one of these up, so this is not a sponsored video. I've actually bought this myself. So they do a few different versions of them. They do the One Blade, which is for the face. They do one for the body. They do a face and body one, which is basically it's the same basic part of the machine. You just have a different blade head to it. They also do a pro version as well for a bit more money. So with the One Blade, what you basically have is a rechargeable system. So when it arrives, you get it out of the packet, it's pretty much flat. Plug it in, leave it. I left it for I don't know how long it takes to charge, to be honest. I just left it on overnight. So it's supposed to have around about 45 minutes charge once it is charged. I've got the face and body one. So you basically get a pack like this. When you get this pack open, you have the blade itself, or rather the body itself with the blade. You'll see it has got a slight flex on it. So this is the body blade you see here, which has got a skin guard built onto it. On the pack you'll see there's also the standard face guard. There is also a deeper trimmer. I think it's about 3mm trimmer, which is for when you're doing the body hair in areas where you want to be a little bit more careful, so to speak. They also have stubble control, and there are 3 additional different heights of protector for the end of the blade as well. So this gives you plenty of different options. So what I'm going to do today, guys, I've never used this before. I've literally, as I said, I've looked at them, taken them off the shelf many times over the last year or two and thought, shall I, shan't I? They're around about 55 quid in the UK, but I went past my local Boots the other day and it was on a half price offer, so I thought, sod it, let's give it a go. So when it comes out of the packet, you get the blade on here. So to take it off, it just simply pulls very quickly straight off. The replacement blade, or sorry, the other blade, the alternative blade, snaps straight in. One of the things I did notice with this, guys, that I was very disappointed about is that it has no carry case or bag. You can buy travel boxes for this. Either, I believe Philips do their own, but there's multiple different versions, generic ones, and I've seen some quite nice ones from as little as £8 or £9 on Amazon. So it's not a big deal, but it's one thing to bear in mind. If you're spending 50 odd quid on a kit like this, literally you've got nothing to put it in. This is what it comes in, but it's not, you can see there, it's not actually anything you could, it doesn't clip into it and hold it there, it just sits there and rests there. So you're going to have to figure out where in your bathroom this is going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do my first ever shave with it on my face. So what I'll do is I'll put a close-up picture of what the blade looks like, but basically it's a crosshatch with some additional blades or cutters on either edge. So one of the big things that's different with this is we are taught normally when we do our shaves, we do with the grain, then we do against the grain, and if we're really going for the barbershop process, then we go across the grain as well. What's different with this is the technique for this is you push it against the grain. So straight away that makes me think irritation, painful, snagging, etc. Don't know if that's going to do that. Now's the time to find out. Reasonably noisy, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to try and get this close in. I apologise for the views up my nose, and I'm literally going to push this with a little bit of pressure against the growth. Now this is 2 days worth of stubble. Ideally I could have done with like a week's worth. The trouble is with my job as a clinician, I'm expected to look neat and smart, particularly at my level, so that means, you know, scruffy looks. Because I'm doing this whilst looking in the little window on my camera, I really struggle to see where I'm going. So let's just switch that off a minute and feel. Right, first impressions, really surprisingly close, like really surprisingly close. Obviously there's still some bristle there because I'm not doing it in the mirror, I'm not focusing exactly where I'm going semi-blind. But that is much closer than I thought it would be. That was against the grain. There's no irritation there at all, no stinging, there was no feeling of pull against the skin either. So I'm going to try the stubble on here, because I don't know about you guys, but I find that the stubble on my chin seems to be 5 times thicker than it is on the rest of my face. I know it isn't, I know medically it's not, but it feels it. And also what happens is, because the angles of the chin, even if you're using a really sharp blade and a nice hot environment with a good cream, there's still often quite a bit of snagging on these hairs. So it's going to be interesting to see what this feels like in relation, particularly under here, because I don't know about you guys, but I find I get quite sore under here. It feels really weird. Not the feeling of the cutting. It feels really weird pushing against the grain. Because obviously when you do a second pass with the standard wet shave, it's already pretty much smooth. So there's very little feeling of tug, a little bit, so you're aware you're doing it, but nothing like when you use a razor. I'd say it'll probably take you 2 or 3 goes of this to get the hang of just the amount of pressure you want to use, because it's not like if you use a DE, a dual edge safety razor, that is literally, you just want to use the weight of the handle when you're moving down. With a cartridge razor, there's usually a little bit of a slight pressure with the finger. This, I think you need a little bit more pressure just to push it down. But okay, this is, I'm not trying to show you that this is a perfect smooth shave, because obviously, as I say, I'm doing it in the camera and it's very difficult to see. But that's already starting to clear. That's already feeling smooth. I've got the feeling that this is one of these things. In fact, let's try now. One of the things I'm looking forward to with this is the fact if I can go really close in, because of, you know, when you're 20 and your skin is perfectly smoothed out, and you're not an old fart like me with as many bumps and bumps, then it's fine. But when you start to get a little bit older and you start to get a little bit of droopiness here, you know, what you end up with is opportunities to nick yourself quite easily in the corner of your mouth. I do it from time to time if I'm rushing, and it bloody hurts. It's really inconvenient. So let's try attacking it with this. So I'm going over the edge of my lip. There is absolutely no snagging or cutting of the lip. But they're easily, as you can see there, I'm overlapping on the lip. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to switch the camera off, stand in the mirror, do this properly while I'm watching myself properly, come back to you and tell you what I think. A few minutes later, and finished. Okay, now, as I say, that was already there. I'm looking a little bit red here, but that's more to do with me dragging on the skin as I'm doing it rather than a shaver rash itself. Now, the overall shave is very smooth, particularly over the more bony areas across here. So where you've got a nice, smooth, fairly firm area to go across, it is virtually up there with a standard wet razor. Where you're going around the other areas, particularly the neck, a little bit less so. Though the neck is where I found the most of a struggle. That's not so much to do with the design of the product, it's more a case of the fact that whereas the hair growth is fairly predictable and fairly easy to discern on your face and on your chin, on your neck the hairs grow in all different directions. So I found in actual fact that the pushing motion that I was doing everywhere else didn't really work. So instead I just flipped it around and I did it that way around and did a pull, because it's bi-directional, so you can push or you can pull, whoever misses. I wouldn't say I expected to hate this, I expected to not like it. One of the main reasons I didn't buy it up until now, up until it was on half price, is because I very much expected it to be something I bought, tried once, wasn't impressed with, stuck it in a box and it never got used again. However, this is much better than I expected it to be. Much better. Is it a replacement of a wet shave completely? No. Just general use, I think this will be fine. If you're looking for a particularly mega smooth, sort of almost barbershop feeling, then by all means you can start with this, but I would then go over with a cream and a wet brush, a wet blade to finish it off, just to get that ultimate smoothness. Because this is the body and face version, I will be testing out the body version later on. I'm not going to do a whole video for that for the start. The idea of me being filmed in the shower is enough to put off what few subscribers I've got. So what I'll do is I'll do a little review of that, and I'll put that up on my Instagram account. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure to follow me on there. Would I recommend you buy this? If you can get it at a discount price, if it's an offer or something, grab it. If it's a full price, yeah, I'd probably still say it's worth getting. I will put a link to the product on Amazon down below. As I say, this isn't a sponsored video, but there is an associated link through Amazon. So if you do decide you want to buy one of these and you want to support the channel, that'd be great. If you buy through Amazon via the click on the link below, I get, I don't know, probably 50 pence or something, so it's not an awful lot. But if you want to support the channel and you want to give this a try, then guys, I'd really appreciate it. So I hope this video was useful for you. If it did, don't forget to give it a like, that's always appreciated. Comment below as well, because it helps with the YouTube search. If you're not subscribed already, please remember to do so for new videos every Thursday, and also don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I've been Bear Clark, you've been amazing, and I'll see you again real soon.